Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. So here I am again doing a review, but I'm not doing any throwing in this video. My elbow is still dodgy and I think it's going to take quite a long time, but I am doing some reviews at present where will probably do a little bit of throwing, but not to the extent that I have done before. But anyway, this is a review of the Caliburn EVO point system. Now you've probably already seen it and heard some feedback from people that have already tried it. A few people have had problems with it already, with the little spigots breaking. But the thing is, it's a good idea. There's no getting away from the fact that it's a good idea to try and make a universal system that will work in all darts. But the problem is, all darts are not standard. They all have different depths of hole and different thicknesses, and it's not easy thing to do, make something that's going to fit every dart, and probably they should have put a bit more thought into it before they released it to the market. So I was going to do a test where I put a point in each barrel of a different brand, but I'm not going to do that now because I've seen other people have problems with it, so I don't want a chance messing up any decent darts. So I'm going to put them in some darts that I don't really care about whether they get broke or not. But it is quite well engineered and all that, but the thing when you're engineering something so fine like this is you're also creating something that has to be strong, and if it's not strong enough, there's problems, and I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go along. I think the starter kit is £12.50 and the points are I think were £8.25. I'm not sure because they're not on the Darts Corner site anymore, and whether they've took them off because of the problems people have been talking about, I really don't know. Not heard anything yet, so let's check them out. Right, so I've also got the 28mm ripple points, and they've got the kind of like cone on it, trident type cone, to make it smooth transition from point to the nose. And as you can see, the starter kit has got these tools with it. You've got the little wrench tool, and then there's the little spigot insertion tool, and it also comes with 3 points, and each point has got the little spigot already attached. But on the box it tells you the instructions on how to do it, but I think it's pretty simple. So what I'll do is I'll give you a quick close look of the points, and then I'm going to repoint a dart, but I'm just going to repoint some darts that I'm not that fussed about, that if I damage them, whatever, doesn't really matter. I was going to repoint as many normal darts as I could just to see how the points fit in each barrel, but after seeing all people having problems with them, I thought that's not a good idea. But I will show you the reason why, but I'll give you a close look of these now. Right, so here's a quick close look at the points. Obviously that's the ripple one with the kind of like cone, and that's the normal point, but as you can see, each point has got this kind of like grooved out section, and that's so that the driver key will fit in and take hold, so that allows you to screw it on. So that just goes there, but I mean, that's quite a nice solid piece of metal, that, and the precision machining on these points is quite amazing, really. You can actually take them off and reveal the little spigot, but that's very fine engineering, that. But that is kind of also a problem, like when you make things so fine, they're kind of delicate as well, so unless they've got a lot of strength, it's kind of easy to break them if you kind of like wrench at it, and if they're fitting wrong, what have you. So that kind of is my bugbear with a lot of these ideas, really. You're dealing with really fine tolerances, but the bit that goes into the barrel, that's 2.35, and then the bit underneath is 2.31, so that bit there is actually a little bit narrower, which is obviously so you can fit it on and screw it in while that one stays tight. But my thinking was, what if you turn it too tight? Will it make that part come loose? And I think some people have actually found that is a problem, and some people have actually tightened it too much and broke the threads. But the little spigot insertion tool, that the idea of this is you get the spigot, you screw it in there, and then that allows you to set the spigot at the right depth. So I'll repoint one now and show you in principle how it works. The other thing that you have to be aware of is, if I just measure that there, it's a rough guide here, but it's roughly, what is it, about 7.2 millimeters, somewhere around there. Yeah, about 7.2 millimeters. So that's how much depth needs to go into the barrel. I'll just measure the other point. Yeah, it's about the same. So if you look at my barrel, I've already took the point out, and if I stick that end in and then check the measurement account of that, it's not deep enough, and this is where the problem lies. But I'll put it in and I'll just show you exactly how it's meant to work. So set your barrel up and then get one of the spigots and you put it in the spigot insertion tool. It's not going on actually. See, it's not going in. And you see, that's the problem when you're dealing with such small, fine threads. Well, it hasn't gone in all the way, so I'll try another spigot. No, in principle it's a good idea this, but in practice it just, I don't know, it maybe needed more testing, more refining, a little bit more thought here and there, but that one's gone in. Maybe I just didn't squeeze the other one enough, but anyway. I did take a macro picture later of the threads, and if you look, they are a little bit raggy, so whether that's why I was struggling to get it fitted on, I don't know, but there you go. So that will only go up to where that hexagonal nut is, it won't go any further. If I've measured it right, and also remember that the hole will probably have a taper on it, so the point isn't going to go right into the hole because there'll be a little bit of a taper where the drill point was. And the other thing as well, the thickness of the holes, they're not all standardized, so if the hole is really tight and you force it in, then chances are you're going to break it. So I think that's as far as it'll go in this barrel. I can't seem to get it any further, and now it's because it's getting tight, it kind of worries me a little, because if I was doing it on a dart that was really keen on keeping, I'd be a bit concerned that it's gone in too tight and may not be able to get it back out again. So the idea then is that you can take this tool off. So it's just unscrewed off, and it's got the little spigot left inside, and then you're supposed to be able to put your point on and screw it in, and then you get the driver key and just tighten it up if you want, but I don't want to make it too tight because, like I say, I'm a little bit worried, but it hasn't gone in all the way. Don't know whether you'll be able to see that. So let me just see whether I can put one of the ripple points in without having to put another spigot in. You shouldn't have to put another spigot in. Yeah, that's probably as far as it's going to go. And again, as you can see, get back into focus, it has gone right up to the nose, and it is in quite tight, so it's not going to come out. But like I say, what if you want to remove the spigot? Are you going to damage the threads? And I think that's what some people have done. So I'm going to put that spigot tool back on and see if I can remove it. So it needs to go back to the drawing board, I think. In theory, it was a nice idea, but in practice, there's just not a universal standard to barrels, holes and thicknesses. Even the points are never the same thickness. I might be lucky, it might come out. Yeah, it has. So but it's a set of darts that I'm not really bothered whether damage or not, so but if you put it on a set that you are happy to keep and not a cheap set, then you get a problem. Obviously you are going to be bothered, but it has come out, so thankful for that. But just to show you an idea, I've got various dart barrels here where I've already took the point out of, and this barrel is the Loxley Steve Hine, and they're 7.64 deep. I'll just measure the thickness of the point, 2.34. Quite often that tends to be around the right size that you see mostly, but they're 2.32. That's a point from the Harrow's rival darts, so a thinner point and drilled out quite a long way, 9.85. And these are the Red Dragon Luke Humphreys, and there's not much depth at all in that, 5.52. So the Caliburn EVO points definitely wouldn't fit in there. And again, 2.35 mil a point. This is the Winmore MVG Authentic, and as you might know, Winmore, Red Dragon, Nodor, all made in the same factory, and again only drilled out 5.24. And just a quick measure of their points. Oh, that's strange. Wait a minute, there's something on that point. 2.35. And these are the Bulls Mensor Sulvich, Bulls Germany, and that's drilled out 9.59. So you can see how it's a problem trying to make a universal system that's going to work for all. And these ones, 180, it's got a very thin shell around the nose, and it's drilled out 7.16, so I don't think I'd try them. with them having such a thin, and the point is actually thicker, 2.37. But the curious ones is these, which is the Unicorn Ballista. Now put this in and it's drilled out quite a long way, but the points were actually only in a short amount, so I'll just measure the line where they were up to, and they're only 4.4 mil deep into the nose. So it just shows you there's so much difference. But like I say, I think Darts Corner may have recalled these because people have been having problems with them breaking, and maybe they'll have to go back to the drawing board, bring out a version 2 or change the design. Nice idea, but it's just not working. So that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you on the next one, whenever that might be.